The colored people of South Africa is a very diverse genetic race of people who identify as colored. Although their ancestry is of mixed race, the term colored in South Africa is used to identify the various mixed people in the region, which includes the Cape Coloreds, the Rehoboth Basters, the Griqua people, the Natal Colors, the Transvaal Colors, the Cape Malays, and I can add, but I don't think they identify as colors, the Xhosa people, who are a mixture between two African groups, the Bantus and the Khoi. The colored people are divided from those who are mainly descended from maternally Khoisan women and paternally Germanic Europeans such as the Basters, the Griquas, and some Cape Coloreds, while others, although not mixed, are the descendants of Malay slaves, while some are most likely a mixture of any other race you can think of to some degree. And others are a mixture between the whites and the Bantus, such as the Transvaal Colors, and others are a mixture of Indian, whites, and Zulu, such as the Natal Colors. And for the African Americans watching this and are surprised to see African people with mixed identities who don't identify as blacks as they do in America, well, let me tell you, Africa is a tribal society and it's the whole of Africa. People don't identify with skin tones but with tribal affiliation. And tribal affiliations is mainly rooted by paternal lineages. If your father is Zulu and your mother is Xhosa or Khoi, then you are Zulu. But the colored can't trace their paternal lineages to an African tribe. Thus, they identify as coloreds. And also, in South Africa, unlike America, the one-drop rule doesn't exist. And with all this diversity in South Africa, racial tension still exists, and you will find racism between whites and colors as well as between blacks and colors. And not to mention the xenophobia between blacks, the blacks who are nationals and the blacks who are immigrants. And during the apartheid, the colored people were considered not white enough for the whites and were segregated in the outskirts and were given enough infrastructure not to wander into whites-only areas. This segregation made the colored people to grow into their own unique identity and culture, and now after apartheid, they feel treated by the black government as being not black enough for the blacks. And this isolation from South Africa's mainstream cultures produced a strong colored identity and culture. And in Afrikaans, colored people are referred to as bruin mense, which literally translates to brown people. And some, especially those who grew up during the apartheid, will be very offended when being called black. So, in South Africa, if you really want to break South Africans by race, you would have to go by black, whites, Indians, and coloreds. Although I haven't heard colored people being referred to as brown in English, as far as I know, it's only colored. While Afrikaans people will use either bruinsman or clearling, which is colored. And the good news for colored people in South Africa, they have surpassed their white population in numbers a couple of years ago. And now, let's dive into the various diverse colored ethnic groups. The Rehoboth Basters, also known as the Basters, are a distinct ethnic group in Namibia. The term Basta is derived from the Dutch word Basters, meaning mixed race. Rehoboth Basters trace their origin back to the interracial unions between ethnic Germanic Dutch men and the indigenous Khoi women. The Rehoboth Basters have a unique cultural identity that emerged from their mixed heritage. Originally from the Cape, they migrated to Namibia and now they predominantly reside in the town of Rehoboth, located approximately 90 kilometers south of Namibia's capital, Windhoek. However, Basters communities can also be found in other regions in Namibia, and they can look very biracial between Khoisan and Dutch, some looking 50-50 while others are more white passing or Khoi passing. Historically, the Rehoboth Basters play a significant role in Namibia's history. They developed a distinct language known as Afrikaans, which is derived from the Dutch languages but have evolved over time. Afrikaans is widely spoken by the Basters and is one of the official languages of Namibia. During the colonial era, the Rehoboth Basters established a semi-autonomous political entity known as the Rehoboth Gebied, which is Rehoboth Territory, in 1872. However, their political autonomy was gradually eroded under German occupation and later the apartheid South African occupation of Namibia. Today, the Rehoboth Basters faces various social and economic challenges as they have advocated for land rights, cultural recognition, and political representation. Efforts have been made to preserve their cultural heritage, including their language, traditional customs, and historical narratives. The Rehoboth Basters continue to maintain their distinct identity and contribute to Namibian society. They are an important part of the country's diverse cultural landscape and have made significant contributions to Namibian politics, arts, and sports. The Griqua people, also known as the Griqua or Griquas, are a unique ethnic group in southern Africa. They are the descendants of the interracial union between indigenous Khoi women and the European Germanic settlers, primarily of Dutch and German ancestry. The term Griqua is derived from the Afrikaans word Griqua, meaning people who fled. The Griquas have a complex history that emerged during the colonial era. They trace their origins to the 18th century when mixed-race communities emerged in the Cape Colony of present-day South Africa. The Griqua people developed their own cultural identity, which was influenced by both their Khoi and European heritage. They played a significant role in the frontier conflicts and power struggles of the time. Some Griqua leaders such as Adam Kok I and Adam Kok II established semi-autonomous territories and sought to negotiate with colonial authorities for land rights and recognition. Over time, the Griqua people dispersed and migrated to various regions across southern Africa, including South Africa, Namibia, and Botswana. They faced challenges such as land dispossession, marginalization, and discrimination during the colonial period. Today, the Griqua people are recognized as a distinct ethnic group in South Africa. They have their own unique cultural practices, including language, music, and traditional customs. The Griqua community continues to assert its identity, advocate for land rights, and work towards preserving its cultural heritage. It's important to note that the Griqua people are just one of the many diverse ethnic groups in Southern Africa, each with their own unique history and cultural backgrounds. And speaking of the diverse cultural backgrounds, let's go to the Cape Colours. The term Cape Colours refers to a diverse ethnic group in South Africa, primarily concentrated in the Western Cape province. The Cape Coloured community emerged from a complex intermingling of indigenous Khoi women, European settlers, primarily Germanic, Dutch, and British men, and some with diverse slaves brought from various parts of Africa and Asia, which includes the Malays, Malagasy, Mauritanians, St. Helenians, Filipinos, Japanese, people from Macau, people from Malakas, people from the West Indies, including Brazil, and the Bantus. The term coloured was historically used as a racial classification in apartheid South Africa to describe individuals of mixed racial heritage. Cape Coloured people have a diverse ancestral backgrounds, including African, Asian, European, and indigenous Khoi roots. As a result, they exhibit a wide range of physical appearances, cultural practices, and linguistic diversity. Many Cape Colours individuals speak Afrikaans as their first language, although there are also those who speak English and other languages. Cape Coloured people have made significant contributions to South African society, particularly in the fields of arts, culture, music, and politics. They have played an important role in shaping the cultural landscape and history of the Western Cape region. In recent decades, there have been growing recognition of the Cape Coloured community's unique heritage and struggles. Efforts have been made to address historical injustices, promote social inclusions, and celebrate the diverse cultural identities within the Cape Coloured community. And speaking of diversity, let's go to the lesser-known coloured people of South Africa, which includes the Natal Colours and the Transvaal Colours. The Natal Colours refers to a community of mixed-race individuals living in the province of KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa. Historically, this community emerged during the colonial and apartheid eras when people of mixed African, European, and Indian heritage settled in the region. The Natal Colours have a diverse cultural background, often drawing influences from Zulu, Indian, and European traditions. They have faced various challenges and discrimination throughout history due to the apartheid system, but they have also contributed significantly to the cultural fabric of South Africa. Today, they continue to be an integral part of the multicultural society of KwaZulu-Natal. And their appearances is a game of dice. Some look more European, some look more African, some look more Indian, and some look balanced between all those features. The Transvaal Colours refers to a community of mixed-race individuals who historically lived in the former province of Transvaal in South Africa. Transvaal, which encompasses regions such as Gauteng, Mpumalanga, and parts of Limpopo. These parts was a significant area during the apartheid era. Similar to the broader category of colors in South Africa, the Transvaal colors were people of mixed African and European and a little bit of Asian ancestry. They developed their unique cultural and social identities, drawing influences from various ethnic backgrounds. Another mixed group in South Africa that doesn't identify as colored but have mixed ancestry are the Xhosa people. The Xhosa people are the result of interracial mixing, both genetically, linguistically, and culturally between the Bantus and the Khoisan groups that used to dwell in the Eastern Cape before the Bantu expansion. This explains their unique mixed appearances. Just look at Nelson Mandela. Some might came out looking Khoi, some might came out looking Bantu, and some might look in between the two. And lastly, the Cape Malays. They are called colored in South Africa, but they are mostly monoracial Malay people. Only some of them are of mixed ancestry. But most of them are monoracial Asiatic Malay people found in the Western Cape. So that's it for today's video. If you learned something from this video, make sure to like, subscribe, share. I will see you next time, and as always, stay curious.